Alright, hello YouTube. Now, first of all, I'm gonna have to say that because I'm still recovering with like the whole hospital stuff for those who've been looking at what I've said recently, because of that stuff, I may not sound as energetic or anything, just because I'm still recovering, to be honest. And secondly, because of the Roses and Muskets event, I had to actually start the first bit of the Navia quest. So I'm sorry,
Osmanthus wine tasters.
so the first part of the quest will actually be silent for those watching the video, just because I recorded it rather than it being on stream right now.
Well, if it isn't my dear partners!
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today. Are you headed somewhere?
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy rebuilding Poisson?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take care of. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court and Poisson. Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, in my opinion, as the administrators of Poisson, Spina di Rosula should take some responsibility as well. Our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date. Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Oh, spoken like a true president. You're a really responsible leader. That must be taking up most of your time though, right?
Oh, you bet. Between that and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting one thing or another. So before I came over this time, I took a page from Malusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off. And then, since Malus loved using shorthand, I decided to also follow his example and come up with some shorthand of my own. But after running a few errands in the city, I'm kind of struggling to even read my own handwriting anymore.
That does sound like you, all right. So,
Oh, want to take a look?
let Paimon see. Wait, there's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols. This looks like a piece of kelp wrapped around a stick. And this other one, is it supposed to be a boar in a box?
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fishermen, while the second one is a reminder to try the new burger that just hit the market.
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Thank you for your advice. These are the kinds of things you only really figure out once you've tried them out yourself. I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it, I'd be sure to remember the symbols when I looked at them later. Unfortunately, I've definitely proven myself wrong.
Well, now you know for next time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decipher, but I don't think they're anything too super important. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make another trip.
So you're going to head back now?
Yep, that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we talked about the reconstruction earlier, want to come with me and check out the town for yourself? You said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a boat and head over. It won't take long at all.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not. What do you think, Traveler?
Then let's go. We'll take a boat over.
Oh, you mean the aquabus, right? Like the Clementine one?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The aquabus doesn't have a station near Poisson, so we'll use one of the Spina's boats. Oh, sure. That sounds fine to me.
Right, to everyone watching, this part is on stream, so yeah, if you're watching the YouTube video, the part you'd have seen before this, I'm guessing, was the part I recorded beforehand. Right, here we go.
The engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks. We can head out as soon as we get the green light.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 Aquabus lines are all named after people in your family, right?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to that stuff.
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why isn't there even a dedicated line to Poisson? Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a special boat just to go home.
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub, so there was no real reason to build a line straight to Poisson. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already committed to build 3 lines, why not just add a 4th?
Yeah, that's what Paimon's saying. The Aquabus is so convenient, it's really a huge shame.
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going on in his head.
Well, I mean, we just take the waypoint, but oh well.
But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always really stubborn. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him advice or suggestions, and no farther.
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep getting his way. He was just... not very agreeable.
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then let's head out. It'll be a while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep talking.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person?
So
oh,
we're going
Paimon's
into
sorry.
that stuff?
He totally forgot that you mentioned before that she passed away during childbirth,
Oh my
so
God.
you probably don't remember her at all.
So surprised
Uh,
Navia's not
that's all
anima
right.
at this point.
I've heard many stories about her from the rest of the Spina. They've always said that they were sure we would have gotten along famously. While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly super cheerful and funny. My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make sure that everyone was happy.
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic business partners as well.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. It's hard for me to piece together a more complete or intimate picture of her. But sometimes I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina and Poisson still be what they are today had my mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world. When given a name, a cold, inanimate object can gain a completely new meaning. So, I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea. I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them and must continue to keep moving, the fact won't change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward, always. But no matter what, we can't change the past. But I tell myself that I need to keep looking towards the future. Everyone, even my parents, have already overcome so many obstacles. Besides, I'm the president of Spina di Rosula. I've got to keep my chin up. We've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new Poisson.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right? Okay, Paimon supposes you're right.
She might be using the work as a distraction to not really think too much about it all.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon. Well,
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent.
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though.
thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correctly sized block without knowing the design that we want to use first.
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents in commemoration of everything they've done for the Spina and the town of Poisson. But since my father was known as Callus the Unfaithful for the longest time, it would have been too controversial to commission a statue of him. But now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus and everything they did.
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe that Boss should have a place on the statue.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the sky with my parasol. Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them over to you to review.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me. Modeling a few poses, of course. Here. Didn't you say on the boat that Callus and Clementine sounded like great partners? Florent, look.
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas? Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. So, I want to pick your brain for a bit and see if you can come up with some new and interesting ideas.
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon of a captain and their first mate.
Look over there, my dear Clementine,
But there's something off with the composition. This pose makes Mr. Callus look too tall next to the lady.
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan. A statue like this would look fantastic on a boat.
Wait, but we can't do that. Very few people would see the statue if we were to put it on a boat.
But then, since we're putting it in the town, the whole point of the pose would be lost.
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
A happy pose.
Would all...
Would we even be able to tap?
Yeah, and that'd probably be a
Could one of you try?
Is it just going to be a thing where none of these are the right one? And then after going through the quest, we then
That
decide
actually
it
sounds
at the
pretty
end.
hard to pull off. Forget it. Let's try something else.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose!
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too... If we were to stick with this pose...
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day.
Oh, Paimon was just kidding!
What Florent meant was that we asked the journalist to choose a new alias. You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts.
We tried a bunch of different ideas.
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session, and each of them can be considered to be a souvenir in their own right. Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with the Traveler, I would have prepared a lot of outfits and props ahead of time. Oh, outfits! Oh, that's the errand I forgot back in the city. Do I...
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr. Callus's case, right?
I don't remember.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh, the
So,
daughter.
after the case,
Oh,
she
yeah.
was finally willing to talk to me. And she told me that she wanted to join the Spina too. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will just have to wait a few years, and then we'll welcome her with open arms. But how could I get her to believe that I meant what I said? In the end, I came up with an idea, but I got so busy and distracted in the city that I forgot to pick the uniform up.
Don't worry, boss. I can send some.
On the matter of the statue,
So,
we should still
sometimes
come
I
up with a
just-
few more ideas for the design. I'll have to trouble you to source some for me.
So yeah, sometimes I just, without thinking, skip through some of the dialogue. So it's just a habit. Back in the day of, like, you know, Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma, maybe even Sumire, I skipped through the dialogue a lot, even in the main parts, like our conquests. So sorry, it's just a habit.
We could have just done that from the start. Yeah, you're right. They'll have some value as souvenirs at least.
Navia!
Huh? But.
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Meripede?
Who now?
That's right. I finally finished serving my time. Gotta say, turns out I was a lot tougher than I thought.
Don't remember seeing him.
After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Poisson. You could say that familiar briny smell became a primal call, urging me to forget everything else and just
Oh,
come
God,
back
he
home.
Probably doesn't
You wouldn't
realize.
believe how much I've missed
Lucy
Melissa's
Silver
grilled
died.
fish. I dreamed about it every time I had to get a welfare meal down there underneath the sea.
It's good to have you back, Coulter.
And this guy is...
Ah, let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di Rosula's members. He was found guilty and sentenced to the Fortress of Meripede some time ago. But, looking at it now, it was probably another one of Marcel's plots while he worked at the Confrérie of Cabrières.
Wait, Mr. Marcel? What do you mean? He was involved in some sort of plot?
Yeah.
Have you not
Oh
heard
my
anything
God.
at all about the water from the primordial sea case?
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded. I thought that was all there was to it and didn't care to ask for any more details. Do you mean...
Oh, looks like we'll have to explain everything from the top. First things first, let me introduce you to these two. They're my most trusted partners,
probably knows
and they've been
us
with
from
me
the
through thick
prison.
and thin. Now you could call them Spina di Rosula's VIP helpers.
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't recall Navia ever generously complimenting anyone like that before.
Yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing. But Wait, now you suddenly resist taking a dig at Paimon?
Nice. Spina di Rosula always seems to attract great people. Oh, that reminds me. Where
Yeah.
are Malus and Silver?
Yeah, there we
Aren't
go.
they always by your side?
About that.
Coulter, a lot of things happened while you were gone.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome home prank, right?
I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They weren't the only people we lost either.
Malus and Melissa. Dead. Luce. I was planning to give him a surprise gift once I ran into him again in town.
Hey, keep it together.
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years, and even served on many missions together during the early days of the Spina.
Oh, let's sit down somewhere, so I can tell you everything that has happened while you were gone.
Okay. All of this, it's unbelievable. I can't believe that those stories were real. It all really happened.
I think you and I both feel the same way about the profound tragedy of Melusa's loss.
I thought Mr. Marcel would always stand by the Spina. It's unconscionable to have received all that, and yet still plot to kidnap and dissolve you for his insane research.
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is no more. Gone with... We finally closed the curtain on that long struggle.
Are you sure? But if Marcel wanted to rebel against us, he probably sent word in secret to Romeu.
Realm who?
Not a name I've heard before either.
Florent should remember him. You see, there was once a major internal dispute regarding funding the construction of the Aquabus line. Romeu was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of mora would be better spent improving the town of Poisson. But Mr. Callis believed that an opportunity to collaborate with the Court of Fontaine and the Fontaine Research Institute was hard to come by, and would allow us to build many valuable relationships. Not only would the Aquabus be a good business investment, it would also boost our reputation among the general populace, eventually paying us massive dividends down the line. But the two couldn't come to an agreement. Romeu ended up taking a lot of people with him when he left Spino di Rosula altogether, and the split was on extremely bad terms.
Ugh. And with Papa's stubbornness, I can definitely imagine how it must have gone down.
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous injustice, those relationships that he spent a fortune to build didn't help in the least.
Yeah, you could say it was the price he paid for sticking to his beliefs.
Oh, that's a good point. If Callis was really as stubborn as you say, then wouldn't he have argued with the rank and file all the time?
Oh yeah, it eventually became a thing that just happened on every day that ended with Y. But Navia, boss, you might not know this, but he used to be a lot better with taking counsel. With him listening to our advice, and Ms. Clementine also frequently on our side, it was pretty smooth sailing for a good many years. But on the matter of the Aquabus, even Ms. Clementine completely stood by Mr. Callis's side.
Huh. I never knew. But from my perspective, Romeu's position had a lot going for it.
I think the Aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's back. On that topic, they eventually came to a rather... They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve as an impartial mediator when she became pregnant with Callis's child.
So, they thought she had betrayed them? But that doesn't make any sense. Before she was their mediator, my mother was also her own person, and a member of the Spina.
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. They felt like their voices could no longer be heard once their sole mediator had gone over to the other side. Of course, Ms. Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callis began to regard the completion of the Aquabus project as her final wish.
So that's what happened.
From that point on, Romeu and his people cut ties with the Spina. And perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But even so, there is still no proof that they ever acted in concert with Marcel.
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while. But as long as they exist, they'll continue to be a threat.
Huh. I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeu had my father in their sights for a very long time. Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about Romeu's whereabouts. If they're still trying to get revenge on us, with how distracted and vulnerable we are...
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an eye on them at all times.
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter, thank you.
Don't worry, it's nothing. I've heard so many incredulous things today. I'm finding it a bit hard to calm down even now.
Ah, in that case, why don't we go back to the court? I can pick up Adele's uniform while we're there as well. Want to come with me again, you two?
Of course.
Then let's go! Paimon feels like a lot's hinging on this
We- Well, we've walked far enough for now. Let's take a break. Since we're out for a walk, we shouldn't stress too much about the destination.
I've grown old, so I'm not as fit as before.
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to hike north with our goods. Then Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay down for a while on the grass, and the Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callus was generous, and everyone had the chance to strike it rich. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built, and this road has fallen into... Oh, I know. I was just being a little nostalgic.
Then let's stay here a bit longer.
Oh, is this another chance to try some of Navia's macarons?
Yep, I figured you wouldn't say no to a few more. Oh, wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Malus and Silver used to take care of tasks like this. Okay, the stove's looking good. And as for the ingredients,
Wait, how does she have a
seems
stove?
like we're
What?
all out of flour and sugar. The two most important ingredients of all. Oh, would you?
We should contribute to making the macaron too.
Oh, that's great.
Then I'll go look for some boxes nearby.
Great. Then I'll... You've all done your part. Just leave the rest to me.
Well,
Whoa, these macarons look and taste magnificent! Your cooking is as good as ever,
What?
Navia.
oh,
Boss's baking skills
What
have
was that?
always been famous. Everyone in the Spina knows how exceptionally talented
that
she
was
is.
supposed to be magnificent. What was that spelling
It's just a
there?
hobby. There's no need to praise me for it like that.
Have you two seriously never considered
Oh.
joining us? You're so
was a
close to the
pun.
boss, and she obviously trusts you with all her heart, so...
You know, like macaron, magnificent, macariv... Wait, what? Macarificent? Something like that, whatever it was. Okay, that makes more sense. I was so confused there.
Was it that obvious? I just thought you would be a great fit, that's all.
You just happened to walk in on our little reunion. Adventurers never stay in one place for long. The name of Spina di Rosula would just tie them. Besides, after everything we've been through together, I'm sure our hearts would remain intertwined even if we found ourselves on opposite sides of the world.
Even if Paimon was far beyond the horizon, she'd still remember the delicious taste of Navia's macaron.
I understand now. Then I am very lucky indeed to have been graced with the chance to meet the two of you. I will endeavor to make the most of this short yet fortuitous encounter.
We've got no wine with us, but let's...
What is there, some combat?
Cheers!
Oh no, someone's spying on us,
Hey,
I'm guessing.
What are you doing? Quick, join in on the...
May your travels go smoothly. May the Spina continue to grow. And may our friendship last until the end of time.
I already forgot now, but whatever it was. It's probably that person.
Hey there, Ludovine. How's business lately?
Ah, the demoiselle of Spina de Rosula.
Nonsense. We all know what a talented businesswoman you are.
My mistake, my mistake. Are you here for the uniform?
Yep. I forgot to drop by earlier when I was running errands around here.
I didn't expect Demoiselle to come and pick it up in person.
Navia's always liked to take even small things seriously.
Hey, that's not the only reason I'm here. There are few things more uplifting.
Boss has got a point. Going on a trip with friends is always better than staying cooped up at home.
Very well. Please, wait here while I retrieve the uniform for you.
Can someone remind Paimon again why Adele wants to join the Spina?
She hasn't given me any concrete reasons. After we cleared her father's name, she became a lot more cheerful and outgoing. She said she used to be terrified of Papa, So
Okay, yeah,
as a
that
result,
person is
she
probably
found
the
all
person.
the rest of the Spina super scary as well.
Like no
But
doubt
the
mentioned
Spina
before.
is very different now. She mustered up the courage
one
to
who's
talk to
hiding.
me, and felt like I could really understand her. Yeah, you could say that. By uncovering the truth about the case, I was able to give her closure at the same time. She said that she wanted to become someone like me. Someone who could lend a hand to others, instead of standing still and waiting for others to help her.
From the sound of it, she'll be a wonderful addition to the Spina.
I think so too. But for now, let's focus on giving her a great atmosphere to grow and thrive. She can commit to us once she's older, and can really make that decision for herself.
Is something up, Traveler? Huh? Tailing? Oh, Paimon's coming.
I'll go check it out too. Coulter, please hold on to this for me.
All right.
We knew you were going to be difficult.
Seems like if we want them to talk, we're gonna need to teach them a lesson first.
Oh, combat.
Brothers, there's no need to skulk in the dark anymore.
Navia trial, I'm guessing. Yeah.
I see everything.
Gather!
Now, talk. Who are you? And why were you tailing us?
Don't think we'll let you off easy if you keep silent.
How did it go, boss? Are any of you hurt?
If you thought they stood any chance against us, you were sorely mistaken. Anyway, stop playing tough and start talking.
Wait, we're looking to get vengeance on Spina di Rosula.
Okay, now I'm starting to think someone just messed up a lot of spelling for this quest. Vengeance? Vengeance?
We were discovered, and can't beat you in a fight. We admit it. We lost.
Get revenge? Wait, you're not Romeo's
Yeah, that
followers,
guy. Yeah.
are you?
Yeah, he's the guy I was thinking of.
You actually know that name? But if you do, then surely you should understand why we hate you so much.
Indeed. You haven't got the faintest hope of winning right now.
We were out drinking when we saw Navia. We got so angry we decided to follow you guys and look for an opportunity to really mess up your day. Too bad you guys messed up ours first.
So stupid, like...
Huh?
Okay.
You're pretty sharp. But so
I was
what?
gonna say, that'd be
We didn't
so
do
stupid.
anything. And now it should be pretty obvious that we can't do anything to you anyway. Seeing you like that just really ticked us off. And we let the drink go to our heads.
Listen, Callus is long dead. No matter what happened in the past, I want to be able to start things anew. I am the current president of Spina di Rosula. If your boss wants to talk with me, I'd be happy to meet with him. I won't press charges for your attack.
I understand. Thank you.
But if you so much as think about pulling something like this again, I will.
All right. We get it.
Are you sure it's okay to just let them go like that, Navia?
I don't want to inherit my father's grudges, too. If the other side is willing to talk, I'm happy to open the door for a reconciliation.
I support Boss's decision as well.
Yes. Plus, we already know that they're strapped for cash. If their financial situation is that dire, they don't have what it takes to challenge us. I still think we should keep an eye out for Romeo's folks, though. If he decides to ignore the warning I gave his men, then we could still have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, those guys definitely didn't look like big fans of yours.
I'd rather things not go that far, since, though we haven't talked to each other for years,
Yep, that's how I feel as well. It's getting late already. So why don't we stay the night in the Fleuve Cendre? I'll also ask someone to write Florent a letter and inform him of everything that happened here today.
Do we have to stay in the Fleuve Sonde again?
Sorry, that's just what happens when you live near water and don't get much sunlight. We can still go out in the evening for some grilled fish and drinks, though.
Huh. That does sound pretty cool. Coming back here really does feel like this place is starting to grow on Paimon. If you think about it, it would be kind of weird if the Spina's base at the court was some super luxurious building like the Palais Mermonia.
Totally. Right on the money, Paimon. Although, of course, with the continued growth of the Spina, Papa wanted Poisson to eventually grow into a metropolis, not unlike the court. He was a very ambitious man, who rarely looked behind or beneath him. For better or worse, that always made him stand out from the crowd.
And that's also why people hated him just as much as they loved him.
All right. Why don't you go wait for me at the restaurant? I'll go do some prep and I'll get someone to tidy up your room while I'm at it. You can use the same room as last time. You still remember the room number, yeah?
Yep. Kinda hard to forget when there are only so many rooms here after.
Oh, did I just hear someone taking a dig at Fleuve Sandra?
Oh, Paimon, sorry! Please have mercy, Navia! If you do that, then Paimon really won't be able to sleep at all!
I was just kidding. Hello? Are you asleep yet? Oh, no, not at all. I just figured that since we don't get to enjoy nights like these very often, wanna go fishing?
Oh, so that's the prep you were talking about.
Hopefully I didn't wake you or anything. I knew it. You really are my best partner. Okay, let's go. To the fishing spot.
How can you call this fishing when you're using...
Oh,
What's the
sorry, I didn't
problem?
realise that would...
Lots of people in Poisson use rods like these.
But shouldn't fishing be all about, you know, attentively watching the float and then excitedly reeling in the catch when you finally hook something?
Well, that's one way to enjoy fishing. What do you think, traveler?
I really wish I could do automation. That would have saved me a lot of time. You know, get an R5 catch.
That's how I feel as well.
Honestly, Paimon's mainly shocked at how much energy you still have at this hour.
Huh. It might just be something that runs in my family.
That's a thing?
I'm sure you'd get even sleepier if I delved more deeply into it. My father always had a lot of unrealistic expectations for me. But my mother never had those kinds of expectations, though. I've heard that she had only one wish for me, which all the members of the Spina greatly respected her wish. Can you imagine? Whenever my father wanted to scold me for something I'd done, everyone would form up into 2 rows and just stand silently and listen to him rant. Melusans, no matter what Papa yelled, nobody else would say a word. Eventually, Papa must have recognized scolding me over trivial matters was pointless.
Paimon would have never guessed.
Yeah, looking back on it now as an adult, when I was young, I often thought that I could do whatever I wanted, because there'd always be someone there to clean up after me. But once, I saw Malus come back wounded. He wouldn't tell me how he'd been injured, but I could tell it had something to do with me. I learned then that there's always a cost to making a mistake. The more you care about those around you, the more you should care about doing the right thing, to the best of your abilities. Because
Oh, did I just...
if you do falter,
Okay, maybe not.
there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. And when that time comes, those most precious to you really will throw themselves in front of you and pay the price for your mistakes. Sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. I wasn't planning to talk about sad things tonight. Basically, I was just saying that the nurturing atmosphere of the Spina must have been my mother's legacy. And if that's the only way that I can continue to feel her love...
Is that why you let those guys go today?
Mm-hmm. Although, maybe there's a part of not wanting to repeat the mistakes of the past. Hey, look! I think you've got something on the line!
But why isn't the rod automatically reeling it in?
Oh, there must be something wrong with how I installed the mechanism. It was my first time putting one of those rods together. We can't let it get away. Come on, you two. Let's catch it.
You want Paimon to help too? You didn't attach a hook to your line?
Bruh.
Stop wasting time! The boss ain't gonna wait all day. We'll go ahead with the operation tomorrow. Do with that information as you wish.
Oh, that guy's in on it? Damn.
Well, your rod was missing a part too, so I guess that makes it fair.
I like the little transition it does there where it's like, you know,
Well, if we're just
like
talking
shit, there's
about the
people
number
talking
of
and then
missing
move to
parts,
us.
sure. Oh, never mind, Paimon.
All right, go to bed. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God I didn't have to do the time myself. Always takes
So
like
how was
much
last
time.
night? Did you get a good night's sleep?
Well, not really, but
Paimon dreamt that she danced
It's
with
a
the
bit annoying.
sea stars, so you could say it was stellar. Get it?
Huh.
oh dear. Paimon's becoming shy now.
Paimon always flies. There's no way she'd ever walk.
Is that right? I thought that you'd made me snacked on too many local ground nuts.
I didn't know you had such a great sense of humor.
See? This guy gets it.
Anyway, let's head out. I'll arrange for a boat to take us back to Poisson.
Paimon hopes she'll really appreciate your gift.
I hope so too. Adele, we're back! We brought you a gift from the court too.
Whoa! Thank you so much, boss.
Don't call her boss, okay, Adele? Just Miss Navia would be fine.
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind.
It's been a while.
Oh, it's you two. It has been a while indeed. I've heard that you also helped save all of Fontaine.
You're really amazing. And if Miss Navia's your friend, then she must be super amazing too. What's in this thing? Can I look?
Of course. Go ahead.
Oh, it's a Spina di Rosula uniform.
Well, it's a gift for future you. When you first told me that you were interested in joining the Spina, I was overjoyed. But it's the Spina's responsibility to protect everyone as well. Being a member means becoming involved in all kinds of dangerous situations. And since you're still young, so I turned you down then by telling you that you'll have to wait until you're older. But this uniform is a
Oh, so that's it.
But you can't really grow up faster by working hard.
Everyone, I'm really grateful that you remembered my daughter's wish. Thanks to the protection of the Spina, even though her father's no longer with us.
Oh, it's the least we could do. As long as you live in Poisson, even if you're not an official member, you're still part of the family.
Boss!
Huh? Is something up, Florent?
I've got something urgent to report. Romeo and his folks have gathered outside Poisson and even shipped in a...
What? Explosives?
Damn.
What do they want?
It seems like they've been planning this for some time. We started investigating as soon as we received your letter yesterday. But Romeu and his folks must have gotten wind as well, because they abandoned their former posts before we could even check on them. We investigated their tracks and found out that they're after Poisson.
Could they have smartened up since we caught them red-handed at the court?
Seems like they've got no interest in sitting down and talking at all. We should have gone straight to the Maison Gardiennage.
Sorry, I underestimated the situation. Well, too late now, I suppose.
On the hill to the east of Poisson, near the Clementine line.
They want to blow up the Clementine line?
Get an overlet on their case.
Certainly sounds like it.
That would solve it.
Romeu and his followers hate the Spina, and everything to do with Callus. And the Aquabus was the source of their contention. If they manage to blow up the Aquabus line, all that rubble will come crashing down the hill and straight into Poisson.
Are they insane? There's tons of innocent people in Poisson!
Yeah. If they've been planning this for ages, they're definitely not going to let this opportunity slip by. We have to issue an evacuation order to the townspeople and get them as far away from the entrance as possible.
Let's get everyone onto our ship.
My dear partner, if the explosives do go off, not only would the people of Poisson be in danger, and let's stop their insanity first, then settle the score with them.
Leave it to us, Navia.
Let's go, you two. We've got to act fast. Miss Coralie, please take Adele to the ship.
Oh.
Watch out, boss!
What? What even happened there? Oh, he took the hit.
What do you think you're doing, Coulter?
I thought all the annoying little hindrances had left, but I still couldn't get rid of you.
You mean this was all a trick? So that you'd be left alone with me? Oh. I get it now. You knew about their plans all along.
Not quite. Though I share their positions on some issues, and that's because out of the entire Spina di Rosula, I only hate you.
You better stick close to me.
What does he have against her? She's...
Romeu promised me that he would leave Poisson alone if I could just take you out. But it was like you were glued at the hip to that pesky traveler. Romeu has lost his patience. I didn't have to be here today, you know. But I swore that I'd kill you, even if it meant being buried with you in the rubble.
Why?
Only someone as clueless about the past as you would have. You never saw the heyday of Spina di Rosula. Nor, but I saw it all with my own eyes. And then I had to watch it all die, little by little. And it was all because of you, Navia.
What, because they had a kid?
Clementine died because of you. Callus died because of you. Melusan Silver died because of you. And so many more dead.
So the shock and grief you showed us before, that was in Act 2?
Now you're catching on. Did you know? Down there in that blasted fortress, I spent a long time thinking about what happened. And back then, because of that Aquabus, we had a huge fallout. I was convinced that all he cared about was loyalty. The years passed by in a blur after that. I thought I had finally begun to understand him. But then he died. And it was because of you again, Navia. It's always because of you.
I mean, I don't
once
think it
loved
is
the
'cause of
Spina
her,
and
but
Poisson
okay.
more than anyone else. But what is left now of either besides death and ruin? You've single-handedly destroyed everything that was beautiful. Everything I've ever loved.
Like, if we think about it for a second. So first of all, her mum died... What was it, giving birth? Like, died giving birth? But... that wasn't because of Navia, that was because she gave birth, if that makes sense. And then... her dad died because of... Yeah, he sacrificed himself so that Navia wouldn't get killed, right? But... that's not Navia's fault, that's the fault of the guy who killed him, you know, like Vacher. And then finally, Malus and Silver. That's kind of just the Heavenly Principle's fault for that one, isn't it? What I'm trying to get at is you don't blame the person who got saved, you blame the person who caused them to die. Like, as in the person who caused them to have to be saved. You know? Like, it's like saying, can't even think of a good example. Well, I guess that's it, isn't it? It's just, you don't blame someone, you don't blame, like, let's say there was someone who is about to kill you, and then, like, I know it sounds a bit extreme, but yeah, let's say someone's about to kill you, right? And instead, someone came in to save the day kind of thing, but got killed in the process of stopping that person, right? It's not your fault they died, it's the person who killed them's fault, if that makes sense, right? Like, I get what they're trying to get at, right? It's like, you know, like, I get what this guy is on about with, you know, they died because of her, but it's because of the people that caused it for them to die. Just that she was unlucky kind of thing, you know?
Don't listen to him, boss! He's just spouting nonsense!
Exactly.
Have you ever considered that maybe the people around you don't actually care about you at all? Have you ever considered that maybe you only get respect because you're Callus and Clementine's child? Have you ever considered that maybe people don't stay in Poisson because of you, but only because they have such beautiful memories of the past before you came?
Don't think so.
Because if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. Yeah, looking back on it now, isn't it? But is that really why they support me?
Shut your mouth! I, for one, really like Miss Navia. I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah,
but
tell
I
him,
like her,
Adele.
and that's that.
Don't even remember
I'm sure
that
Mr.
well,
Malus
but
would be
yeah, tell him.
extremely disappointed in you right now. You've somehow managed to pin the blame for every mistake and tragedy in our history on the boss herself.
Get out of the way, Florent. I don't want to hurt you.
You're gonna have to, boss. There's no time for this. Stop hesitating and get out of here before you get buried.
Pretty sure Navia could, like,
Maybe
beat that
you
guy
think
up.
you're being the
okay.
realist by painting the history of the Spina and Poisson like this. But the love that I felt from everyone was just as real. I felt it. They've helped me get to where I am. And even now, I will continue to believe in that love.
Yeah, Navia could easily take that guy, you know?
Ooh, umbrella warfare, I guess. This one's got your name on it.
Where did these other two...
Cha! Ha-ha! Cha! Hiya! Ha-ha! Watch out! Cha! Fire! Well, with rocks. Ha! Ah! Ah! Ha-ha! Ah! Hiya! Ha-ha! Feeling lucky?
You're joking.
This one's got your...
Okay.
Florent, I'll leave the town to you. If you find any of Coulter's accomplices, subdue them quickly. I can't allow my partner to face the danger on the Clementine line alone.
Got it, boss. I'm on it. Are you okay, Navia?
I don't know, but I have to go.
It's probably the longest we've gone without, seeing the Traveler, you know?
Let's
Normally,
hurry up
like...
there. We have to protect the Clementine line. If they're gonna blow up the waterway, they must have planted the explosives next to the support pillars.
Yeah, normally, we see the whole thing from Traveler's perspective, and, like, every now and then it's, you know...
Stabilize!
Everyone hold it.
Illusion shattered!
Hey,
There is no escape!
yeah. They certainly brought a lot of muscle. They're really slowing us down. But if we're meeting resistance, we must be heading in the right direction.
I've seen those kind of explosives before.
Solidify!
I see everything.
Illusion shattered!
Yeah. Yeah. These must be the explosives, right? And this is the control mechanism. How can we disable it? Oh, Paimon's too scared to touch any of this stuff.
Could just do a Batman and throw them into the water, but yeah.
Huh? There's a strangely shaped hole here. Oh, that certainly sounds possible. Okay, you take this side, Paimon will take the other. Let's see what we can find. Oh, you found it! That's amazing!
Ah. First time we've seen Paimon just out in the open like that.
Let's turn off the device, right?
That doesn't happen very often.
That should do it, right? Navia and Florent should be able to relax now. Oh, you're right. They could have set explosives elsewhere, too.
Yeah, if they're gonna blow up an entire bridge, I doubt it would just be that one area. Oh, cutscene.
They're gonna bury Poussin!
Geo Traveler.
Great work, partner. Just leave the rest to me.
Watch out, Navia! You can't block them all!
Block. I'm doing this the Spina way.
Huh. To be honest, I'm not sure if that many rocks would have buried all of Poisson, but yeah.
I heard from Thierry that even they're your enemies now. They were once a part of Spina di Risula.
I have nothing more to say to them. Regardless of whether their hatred and anger towards me or the Spina was justified. And please, prosecute them in accordance to the law.
Sounds good. We're very appreciative of your help. All right, this operation is a wrap. Take him away.
We won, Navia! We saved everyone!
Yeah. Luckily, we were just in time. It's probably because I expended too much elemental energy at once.
Wait, that's the thing?
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
But you usually glow up whenever other people compliment you.
Boss, we managed to catch all the infiltrators in the town. Seems like Romeo really went all in on this mission.
Got it. Coulter, I can understand how you feel. The things that we
This is
lost,
the wrong kind of music
they're
for this kind of
forever
mood.
beyond our grasp now. And that I am not callous. And I will also never become him. But I will not change how I feel about our future. I will spend more of what the Spina earns on the betterment of Poisson, so that one day, the people...
I know what you're trying to say. Mr. Callus would never have said anything like that. There are too many things in life that are just beyond our control. In that, we are the same.
Henceforth, you are no longer a member of Spina di Rosula. But once you're discharged from the fortress again, you're welcome to pay another visit to Poisson.
Thank you, Navia.
As I thought. Boss really is a kind and gentle person.
She is also, I must say, a truly unlucky person. Thank you for protecting the Clementine line. I was actually really scared, you know. If I'd lost the Clementine line too, I wouldn't know how to live with myself. A name is a way to etch a memory onto the world. Losing the line that bears her name, that I can see every day, seeing it still standing there, tall and proud.
What happened while we were gone? Honestly, you look more upset than tired or anything.
Just give her some time.
Thank you so much. Traveler, I want to ask you something. And please, tell me the truth. Do you really see me as your partner?
Of course.
That's good then. Hearing that, it brings me more relief than I can say.
That reminds me of when Paimon asked in, like, was it the Carrie Bear quest?
How do you feel, Navia?
About,
Any
like,
better
you know,
after taking a
if
break?
we were okay with her or something.
I feel quite a bit better. But I should probably still rest for a few more days. Sorry, partner. I said some weird things earlier. I used to think that I'd never doubt myself. Coulter mentioned my parents, as well as Malus and Silver. Do you think they ever regretted the choices they made?
Don't think like that, Navia. No matter what others think.
Well, since it's ended up like this, there's something that I've been keeping from you as well, boss.
Florent, I hope you can understand that
It's
I
probably the
can't
statue.
deal with any more shocking revelations right now.
Don't worry. This surprise will be a pleasant one.
Why is everyone gathered here? And what's this?
This was supposed to be a gift to you from everyone in the town. We were originally planning to show it to you once it was finished, but special times call for special measures. I've never seen you look so defeated before, so I've decided to show you the designs before the final product was done.
Do I really look that bad?
Well, if you're ready, I'll unveil the present.
Oh, a statue of her, maybe. No? All three of them? Yeah.
This is Papa, Mother, and me.
We designed the look for Miss Clementine based on old camera records, as well as personal recollections from members of the Spina.
Wow! This is the statue you mentioned before?
It is indeed. To be honest, we decided on the design a long time ago, and gave the sculptor permission to begin working. We only asked Boss to decide on a design so she wouldn't realize we had already started.
How could we only have statues of Mr. Callus and Mrs. Clementine?
Even though Boss is still young,
we wanted to commemorate her contributions with a statue as well.
I don't know what Spina di Rosula was like in the past.
With Navia around, we're not worried about this place's future.
We are gathered here today to tell our boss that we support you and believe in you wholeheartedly.
That's what we believe as well.
Thank you so much, everyone. This really is quite the surprise. I never thought that I'd have the chance to stand next to my mother.
Oh, and that's it. That was a very nice quest. Oh wait.
It seems like I started to question myself a bit too much. Looking back on it, I'm honestly embarrassed by how I acted earlier. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, forget it now. Please forget that I ever... Okay, but please keep it a secret between us from now on. It seems like, looking back on it, you know, I've thought about it before. Though my mother only wanted me to live a even though my parents had very different personalities, the Aquabus project was a monumental project that stood to benefit all. I think that's probably why she didn't step in to mediate. It seems like, looking back on it, to me, that would be a family portrait. I've never thought I'd receive a family portrait of my own.
Right, and that's it. Okay. Well. Yeah, this has been a very nice quest. To be honest, it seemed more of a focus on, like, you know, the past of, like, before Navia's time kind of thing. And then at the end, it then started to be about her. Although that being said, she was, like, her backstory and stuff was mentioned a lot in the Archon quests. So I suppose it's not as if, like, we've missed out on. There's probably not much else to her backstory, to be fair. And yeah, it's a very nice quest. It's nice that we actually, you know, got a bit of a trial as her. Twice, I believe. Once was with a team and the other was by herself. Of course, there's a few story quests that I preferred over this one. This one's still definitely up there for one of the good ones, that's for sure. Yeah, that's about it.